Welcome to the video in teaching you how to use the staffing calculation tool for help desk management. There's in this particular file, you will be able to get an Excel file which you can play around if you wish. Okay, you'll get this Excel data file, and needless to say, you'll need Microsoft Excel application. Microsoft Excel application to be able to open this file, to be able to read this, and that's on your own. You have to provide your own Microsoft Excel app. The file will be required, the data file is not required to be submitted, but it will give you a better idea on how to use, and you might also use this to improve yourself or to help you learn how help desks are staffed. If you look at what you're required to do in this particular assignment, to answer question 3 in assignment 3, is to look at the data input section, the tab at the bottom. If you click at the tab at the bottom, so this is where you start your instruction for your user guide. So you're supposed to write a user guide to do this colored areas, okay, these bluish boxes that I've colored. You're supposed to write your user guide from this section onwards. Okay, you might write a little introduction if you wish, but the main center of instruction is here, teaching your users how to use this software or how to use this data file to establish a help desk for the particular business. So it can be used for banking, it can be used for telecommunications, it can be used for fashion, it can be used for online direct buying and selling, and so on and so forth. It can even be used in a university or a school. Okay, a school system. So let me explain to you here, and you're supposed to write out this guide as part of your assignment. You will assume that the person who's reading the user guide do not have access to this video. That means they do not see this video, and your job is to make sure you tell them what you have learned from this video without making reference to it, of course, and write a user guide. Okay. So first of all, here in any business, you have call duration. So here we are required to make estimations of call duration. So for every business, it's very different. Say, for example, in a buying and selling area, your first call duration, a short duration, might be just 3 minutes. So you put enter 3. Your second call duration, which we say we estimate it to be a bit longer call because it requires more information. This might be 5.5 minutes, but if you notice, you enter 5.5 minutes and you hit enter, it rounds up to 6 because it only takes full minutes. And in the last one, a call duration that maybe you might have to handle a complaint or handle a more detailed explanation, you might require up to 12 minutes. So these numbers here are arbitrary for my business. And in any business, this can be very, very different. For example, in a telecom situation, this particular call might be 4 minutes because they have an extra 1 minute spent in identifying the customer, asking the customer for his or her details, such as date of birth or mobile phone number or account number, and you need to verify that. And the second call duration might be a bit longer with 7 minutes, and the third call duration might even take longer, say at 18 minutes. So these are numbers that people can enter in to estimate a very quick, a medium, and a long call duration. And that's how help desk get started out, by doing this first estimate. The second estimate is to look at the number of days per year. Please leave that at 365, although I do know that there are leap years as well, but we'll just leave it at 365. Don't even ask them to change all that bit. Last number of days days that are not open. For example, weekends. In my particular business, we don't open in the 52 weeks per year. We don't open 104 days, so I'll enter 104. But please don't say 104 in a user guide, because then if everybody enter 104, you are forcing the business to only to close every weekend, 2 days every weekend. Some companies don't have a weekend. They do a rotating shift. Some companies might have what we call a 1.5 day weekend, so they can do a calculation there accordingly. So this is where your user guide must come in and help them out. Less holidays per year not open. Now again, in many countries, it's very different. Say in a particular country that I'm working on, it might be just 8 days, so I'll just enter 8 days. Whereas in some other country, it might be as many as 23 days. So each country is very, very different. So you'll have to make sure you get them to enter the number of public holidays that the help desks are not open. Average vacation days is annual leave. How much annual leave are you giving per employee? So in this case, I'll just use 14 for my company or my organization. Number of sick days per year per employee. So I would just say allow also 14 days sick days per. Oh, sorry, I got the wrong one there. My apologies on that. Number of sick days per year is 14 days, and for training days I allocate about 7 training days per year per employee. So I'll enter that as down, so it automatically calculates. The turnover percentage rate is how much changes do you have in your help desk operation? So you assume that people come and go, people will join the company and leave, and you might have a 50% turnover rate if you think that a lot of people are coming and going, or maybe up to 70% rate for some help desks where people come and go. In my particular business, I think I get about 45% turnover rate, and I'll enter 45% there. So most companies who want to set up this will have consultants and people who will know basically what is the estimate here. How much break time do you give per day in hours? Okay, this is break time per day. So they're on the phone all the time. So I might just say, well, I give them a bit of 1.5 hours per day. Okay, and then administrative time for them to fill up paperwork and reports and all that, I give them 1 hour. And average lunch time. Now, if I'm paying for lunch, then I enter this. Now, if I'm not paying for lunch, then I leave it at 0. So if I'm paying them as part of that hour of their work, and in my particular company, I pay half an hour, so I put 0.5. So that's 0.5 hours. So now you can see that it works out the rest of it. How many days of weekdays open per year? Now, just now I mentioned like weekdays open per year. Just to make things simple, I have 52 weeks, and I open 5 days a week. So that's 260 days open per year. How many weekend days open per year? Weekend days is 0, so I leave it at 0 because I say I close Saturday and Sundays in my particular company, in my particular organization. So number of calls per year, I estimate my number of calls at, say, for example, 200 per year, and that works out to roughly 201 calls a day. And the number of current employees I have, I'm just starting out because I don't know very sure, so I can enter 3 employees, or if you have 2 full-time employees followed by a half-time employee, that will be 2.5. So you can actually even put 2.5 employees if you wish. That means 2 full-time and 1 half-time employee. So here in this case, I have 3 employees, I enter 3 employees. Now that's all your user guide is supposed to do for this question 3, and it ends there. You're supposed to write up this user guide for them to be able to fill up this particular calculator, to use this calculator. But as an extension for you as a student, you can see that you can click on the calculation here. You can see how that all works out. If you like an explanation to this, your lecturer teaching you should be able to help you understand a bit deeper on how to do help desk staff calculation. So in this case here, this is a real calculator that's being used. So this is to help you understand a bit of how we assign people or hire people, hire employees to be able to work on help desk. So good luck with your assignment, question 3, and thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.